They left. The job ended. The plan fell apart. You're staring at nothing and wondering if anything good can come from this place. But friend, rock bottom is a platform, not a prison. You've got a blank canvas and you're still holding the brush. The question isn't, can I start over? The question is, will you? Stick with me. Because we're not just going to talk motivation, we're going to build momentum. One brick at a time. One belief at a time. You were born to win, but you must plan to win. Prepare to win, and expect to win. If you've hit your rock bottom and at the verge of giving up, you're at the right place. There is no giving up. Not today, not tomorrow. Stay with me till the end and make sure to smash the subscribe button. In today's video, I will walk you through how to rise from the ashes and start all over like the kings and queens that you're. Follow these 5 actionable principles, and your life will never be the same again. First, let go of the past. Let me tell you something right out of the gate, friend. You can't build a new life if you're still trying to edit the old one. You've been flipping through the same chapter, reading the same pain, replaying the same regrets, and wondering why nothing changes. It's time to burn the old script. You see, one of the biggest traps people fall into when life collapses is clinging to the past like it's a life raft. But it's not a life raft, it's an anchor. And anchors don't save you. They sink you. You lost something, welcome to the human experience. But what matters now is not what you lost, it's what you're willing to let go of. Because as long as you're holding on to what was, you can't grab hold of what could be. Failure is not a dead end unless you decide to park there. And too many folks have set up camp in the graveyard of what could have been. It's time to pack up and move forward. Let me tell you a quick story about a young man I once mentored. He had a booming career, a family, a future that looked like sunshine on paper. Then one bad decision, just one, and the house of cards came tumbling down. He was embarrassed, broke, and bitter. I told him, "You've got 2 choices, son. Let this define you or refine you. The ashes are real, but so is the fire in your belly." That man didn't try to fix the old life. He buried it. He forgave himself. He dropped the guilt, and brick by brick he built something better, because he started from honesty, not history. And I'm asking you to do the same thing today. Take inventory, not of what you lost, but of what's weighing you down. That betrayal that keeps replaying in your mind. That mistake you keep rehearsing like a script. That version of yourself you keep chasing even though they're long gone. Let it burn, light it up, mourn it if you must, but don't you dare build your future around it. You are not your past. You are not your failures. And you sure as sugar are not what they did to you. You're the author now. The next page is blank. But you can't write a new chapter with hands full of ashes. So here's the challenge. Take 10 minutes today. Yes, today. Write down what you're done with. What you're no longer carrying. Then speak it out loud. This chapter ends with me. Tear it up. Burn it if you have to. But declare it gone. You can't start over until you stop holding on. Let go. Not because it's easy, but because your future depends on it. Secondly, reframe failure. It wasn't the end, it was the education. Do you know, friend? Most people treat failure like it's a funeral, like it's the death of their dreams, the closing chapter on what could have been. But here's the truth, failure is not your finish line. It's your classroom. It doesn't mean you're disqualified. It means you're being developed. Like I always say, failure is an event, not a person. That means you can fail at something. But that doesn't make you a failure. That's a powerful distinction. And until you see it that way, you'll carry shame you were never meant to wear. Now I'll tell you a little tale. You know, before I ever stood on stages or wrote bestsellers, I took more than my fair share of knocks. I sold cookware door to door. I tried and failed at a few business ventures. There were times I couldn't pay the bills. Times I thought, maybe this just isn't for me. But let me tell you something. Every one of those failures taught me something school never could. It trained my character. It taught me resilience. It showed me what didn't work so I could figure out what did. One time I bombed a sales presentation so bad the client walked out before I finished. I was humiliated. But on the ride home I asked myself, what could I learn from that? And that question right there, that's the shift. See, here's your tool for this segment. I call it the lesson extraction method. Simple but powerful. Take your last failure, doesn't matter how big or small, and ask yourself 1. What did I do that didn't work? 2. What will I never do again? 3. What's the hidden blessing here? Write those 3 answers down. Don't just think them, write them. Why? Because your mind will believe what your hand confirms. When you extract the lesson, you redeem the loss. And here's what I want you to hold on to like your life depends on it. You didn't fail. You collected data for your comeback. That's what failure is. It's data. It's experience. It's raw material for your next chapter. But if you keep letting it define you, you'll never move forward. And trust me, you can move forward. You just have to stop dragging the shame behind you like a suitcase full of bricks. Friend, you've got to reframe it. That breakup? Data? That business flop? Training. That job loss? Redirection. Every fall is feedback. So here's the truth. You didn't fail. You just finished class. Now it's time to graduate and get back to building. Thirdly, build a new you from the inside out. Let me tell you something that might ruffle a few feathers, but it'll set you free. You don't just need new goals. You need a new identity. Because if you keep trying to fix your life with the same mindset that broke it, you're just rearranging furniture in a burning house. See, too many folks think change starts with doing. But the real shift, it starts with being. You don't wake up successful by accident. You become someone who lives differently, on purpose. And here's what I mean. You don't get fit by wanting to be an athlete. You start thinking like one, eating like one, moving like one, even before you see the results. You don't become confident by wishing for it. You become confident when you show up, again and again, even when the voice in your head still doubts you. I tell people all the time, you were designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness. That's not wishful thinking, that's identity. But those seeds won't grow in toxic soil. You've got to replant yourself in belief. Now here's a tool I want you to try today. It's called the affirmation strategy. But listen close. It's not just about saying fluffy things into the mirror. No, sir. This one's got backbone. Say this every morning, every night, and when that self-doubt creeps in, I am not my past. I am my pattern today. Let that sink in, because the you that hurt people, that settled, that gave up halfway through, that version of you is expired. But the you who wakes up with intention, who shows up with discipline, who takes small steps with courage, that's the real you. That's who you're becoming. And let me tell you something powerful. When your identity shifts, your future follows. You start walking differently, talking differently, making decisions that match the version of you you're building, not the one you're trying to leave behind. And hey, if you're still watching this right now, I know something about you. You're not here by accident. You're hungry. You want more. And that's exactly the kind of person I want riding with me. So if that's you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we're not done yet. We're just getting started rebuilding the version of you that was always meant to rise. Listen, you are not broken. You are becoming. And the minute you start acting like the person you're becoming, your life will start catching up to your vision. Number 4, take the first step. Even if it's small. I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again right here. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And friend, if you're still stuck at the starting line, it's not because you're lazy, it's because you're waiting for perfect. But let me bust that myth wide open. The perfect start is a step. People get paralyzed trying to build the entire staircase before they take the first step. But greatness doesn't begin with clarity. It begins with courage. I once worked with a young man who was absolutely brilliant, talented, disciplined, had a fire in his belly, but you wouldn't know it because he was frozen in the land of someday. He had plans. Boy, did he have plans. Whiteboards, journals, vision boards, but he hadn't moved an inch. So one day I asked him, what if you stop planning and start doing? That shook him, because he realized he was hiding behind preparation to avoid facing fear. Let me tell you, motion is the antidote to fear. You don't think your way into confidence, you move your way into it. So here's your tool for today, the 24-hour activation plan. Before the next sunrise, I want you to do one thing that makes you a little uncomfortable, but moves you forward. Is it calling someone, sending the email, signing up for the class, throwing out the junk that keeps pulling you backward? Whatever it is, do it within 24 hours. And I don't want you to keep it to yourself either. Write it down. Do it. Then drop it in the comments. Let us know what step you took. Because once you put action into the world, you start building momentum, and momentum is magnetic. Now here's a reframe I want you to carry. You don't need the whole staircase, just the first step. That first step teaches you more than any podcast, planner, or book ever could. Action is the great teacher, and hesitation is the great thief. So if you're still here with me, you're already ahead of 99% of people. But don't just be inspired, be activated. Because the truth is, you're not waiting for clarity. You're waiting for permission. And here it is. You've got it. Take the step. The rest will meet you on the way. Finally, design a life you won't want to run from. Now listen to me real close, friend, because this one's gonna sting a little before it sets you free. Most people aren't starting over because they failed. They're starting over because they're escaping a life they built that was never meant for them in the first place. Let that sit for a second. We've got people sprinting from careers they never loved, relationships they settled for, habits that drained them, and they think the answer is just to start fresh. But Zig Ziglar always said, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. And too many folks are running fast, but they have no aim. It's time to stop escaping and start creating. Let me tell you a story. I once met a man who had climbed the ladder of success. Great title, good money, recognition from everyone around him. But behind the scenes, he was miserable. He came to me one day and said, Zig, I'm exhausted. I've been climbing for 20 years and I think it's the wrong ladder. I said, friend, it's never too late to climb a different one as long as you plant it on the right wall this time. That man walked away from the paycheck, not out of recklessness, but out of revelation. He found a mission bigger than money, and for the first time in his life, he found peace. So here's your strategy, the Vision Forward Map. Ask yourself 2 questions and answer them honestly. 1, where do I want to be 1 year from today? Not where someone else expects you to be. Not what looks good on Instagram. Where you want to be, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially. 2, what habits reflect that vision right now? If your future self woke up today, what would they do? Would they hit snooze 7 times? Would they binge Netflix to numb the pain? Would they keep saying yes to everything except themselves? Start living like your future self has already arrived. Let me hit you with a powerful reframe right here. You're not starting over. You're building what should have been built all along. You're not behind. You're just now getting aligned. And when you design a life rooted in values, in purpose, in vision, you don't wake up dreading the day. You wake up driven. So if you're still here, it tells me one thing. You're ready to stop surviving and start designing. We're creating one we don't need to run from. Now hear me out, friend. This is the part where the story turns if you let it. Because maybe you've been walking through life thinking you're damaged goods, that too much time has passed. That your mistakes are tattooed on your soul in permanent ink. But let me tell you something Zig Ziglar told thousands around the world. Failure is an event, not a person. You are not your divorce. You are not the bankruptcy. You are not the addiction, the dropout, the brokenness, or the missed opportunity. Those things happened, but they didn't define you. Unless you decide they do. You weren't meant to stay in the valley. You were built to begin again, stronger, wiser, and more dangerous to your doubts than ever before. And I get it. Beginning again is scary. You've failed before. You've been judged. You've lost things and people you thought were forever. But listen to me closely. This chapter is not your ending. It's your evolution. You see, some of the most powerful, purpose-driven people in history didn't get their breakthrough on the mountaintop. They got it flat on their back, staring up, realizing it was time to rise different. So let's break this pity party wide open. No more playing small. No more rehearsing your regrets. No more asking for permission to heal, to grow, to rise. If you're still breathing, God ain't done, and neither are you. I want you to comment right now. I'm ready to begin again. Not for me, for you. It's a declaration, a decision, a line in the sand. Then hit that subscribe button, because tomorrow we're going deeper, stronger, further. This journey of rebuilding piece by piece, habit by habit, identity by identity. It's not a one-time pep talk, it's a lifestyle. And I'll be right here walking it with you. So say it out loud if you have to. I'm not starting over because I'm wiser, And remember what Zig said, go as far as you can see. When you get there, you'll always see farther. You were made for more than survival. You were made to rise, rebuild, and begin again with power. Let's go.